guys, it's Alma from Keeping It Natural, and this is the second part of my video of misconceptions of natural hair with bluebell blossoms. Finally said it right. Gosh, I don't know why that's such a tongue twister. So, anyways, this is the second part, and I hope you guys enjoyed and you learned something from it. So yeah.
Okay, so the next point that I have is that natural hair is difficult to maintain. So what do
Um,
you think?
I don't know. I don't know about that. It's depending on who you are. And like what your regimen is. It's like for me, it's like a lot of work. I wouldn't lie. But especially when it's wash weekend and I've just taken down like my braids, it takes me a lot of time. Especially I think detangling is the worst thing. It's the most time consuming thing. So I try to detangle as not as often. So that's why my hair's in braids, so I don't have to detangle my hair. So it's not hard to maintain. It's just that it's a lot of effort. But then lots of people have different regimens. Like if you don't want to spend a lot of time in your hair, you can just go into YouTube and look up somebody that spends like 30 minutes doing their hair or washing their hair. Because there are people that manage to wash their hair or like do their hair in like a short period of time. But then again, it all depends on you. You just have to find a way that works for you and cuts down the time that you spend on your hair. But it's not difficult to maintain as long as it's moisturized. It should be fairly easy to style, and then the actual washing your hair, you can like find a way to make that a quick process.
Yeah, I agree with you because I personally don't find natural hair difficult to maintain because I guess I don't know, it's just become like second nature to me. Like it's just something that I know is part of my routine. So
Exactly.
I don't think of it as a chore or it's like, oh, okay, now I have to do this, I have to do that. It's just something that I know it's now part of me, so I don't really think of it as work. So I think that's one of the things people also need to like take into consideration. Like stop thinking of it as a chore or something difficult or something that you don't want to do. Because once you start thinking that way, it's gonna start feeling that way. So like make it I don't know, try to make it a fun process or just I don't know, something because for me, like I don't wash my hair loose, my hair in place. So that makes my life easier. I don't have to deal with a lot of tangles and knots and this and that. So I think you just need to be smart about the whole process.
Mhm.
So I consider myself a lazy natural. So so I do a bare minimum. So like right now I'm wearing my hair in single place. Like this is my own hair. So I can wash my hair in this place. I can dip condition it in this place. So it's I don't it's not difficult for me. So it's like I mean my hair is braided up. I avoid the tangles. I avoid the whole detangling process because it's already in place and I can
Exactly.
wash it and moisturize it and deep condition it as is. So that's why when people say natural hair is difficult to maintain, I don't share the same feeling because I know what works for me. I know how to make my life easier. So yeah.
Yeah, they just need to find something that works for them. You have to be colored or mixed to have long hair. That's my next point. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that is another lie because I've seen lots of people on YouTube who are not mixed and they have really, really, really long hair. So some of them have relaxed hair and they have it long as well. So you don't have to be colored or mixed to have long hair. So that is a big, big lie. So in my case, this is pretty much the longest my hair has been compared to having it relaxed. And I've been relaxed for what 9 years, and I've passed my relaxed hair length in less than 3 years. So clearly, I'm not, so I'm 100% African. So I know that you don't need to be mixed to grow your hair long. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I also think when people say that, oh, like go look at YouTubers online, they'll feel like, oh no, they're American, so obviously their hair can grow. Americans' hairs grow because I think people inherently think that all Americans are mixed, like even if they're like black, like look like us, they still mix somehow through the past, through their 400 years of slavery and stuff like that, and colonialism. So I believe that no, you don't have to be mixed. Because also my hair, like even though my hair's in braids, but if people watched my, I think my past two videos, my recent length check, my that's the longest my hair has ever been in my life. It's longer, it's way longer than my relaxed hair. so so you don't have to be mixed, and I'm 100% African as well. So it's all about learning how to take care of your hair, and developing habits that allow your hair to grow. So you don't have to be colored or mixed for your hair to grow, because our hair is growing and we are not colored or mixed. So stop making excuses and find a way for your hair to grow.
Yeah, I agree. The last point I have is that some people think natural hair is boring. So, what do you think about that?
I disagree. I think our hair is like the most fun of like the best hair of all hair types, because we can do so much with our hair. Because like if we want our hair straight, we can just straighten it with like a hair straightener or blow dryer. And if we want our hair to be curled, we can also use like a hair curler. Oh, there's many different ways to like stretch our hair, like perm rods, roller sets, flexi rods. There's so many different ways to style our hair, and like the stuff that people do with their hair is like amazing. Like I'm not that great at styling, so but the stuff that people do with their natural hair is amazing, because like literally one day our hair can be like short when it's like shrunk in its natural state. The next day it can be like like longer when it's stretched, and like people are like, did you cut your hair, or did you like what happened to your hair? So I believe that natural hair is not boring. It's actually pretty fun. I really enjoy my hair actually. Like I actually miss my hair right now in braids. So even with that, like if we want like braids, like we can also put in braids. If we want to corner, and like even if we braid our hair and corner our hair, there's different ways to corner our hair, and different patterns we can do. There's so many things that we can do with our hair. So I don't think our hair is boring, because everybody has their own style with their hair, and it's so different. It's not like people with natural hair or like with type 4 hair all have the same type, or wearing the same type of hair. Like no, like we can have type 4 hair or type 3 hair, and our hair looks completely different compared to the way, because of the way we styled our hair. So like the way our styling options are completely like endless compared to the other hair textures, like with the straighter hair textures. Like if they wanted to get hair like ours, like it'd be a lot harder for them to like to reproduce the same results purely based on their hair texture, because their hair won't hold like a curl like really well. So I feel like natural hair is like the most fun of all textures, because we can do so much with our hair, so it's not boring at all.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys. So, all these misconceptions that you guys have about natural hair, you guys need to let that go, because clearly we've just shown you that none of these things are true. And if you really, really want to have natural hair, and if you really want it to be healthy, I mean, it's possible. So, yeah.
Yeah. So like
What do you have to say?
the last myth is that people believe that African hair doesn't grow. So basically, everything we've just said just proves that African hair does grow. It all depends on you and what you do to your hair. You just need to find a regimen. Like look up YouTubers. Like we have videos on our YouTube channels. So like just look go on our channels and check out the various videos that we have based on natural hair, and how to style it, and how to take care of it, and how to wash it. So all those myths that you think that you can't grow your hair, it's completely false, because you've been brainwashed to be told that your hair doesn't grow. And it's also hard because, especially in South Africa, because I don't know a lot of black women with long hair. Like I actually don't know anybody, or have ever seen anybody with like hair that's like mid back length, or even like or like waist length. I think like the longest I've seen is like maybe armpit length, and maybe one person with bra strap length. So it is kind of hard to believe that our hair can grow if you don't actually see people with long hair. Because for me it's very rare if I saw a person with long hair, or a person with like the length of ours. I would think that's long, because a lot of people they don't have long hair, so they just need to learn and educate themselves. But that's where YouTube comes into place, where you can actually see people on the internet, because there are various South African YouTubers other than ourselves that do have long hair and are growing their natural hair out. So don't be distressed if you feel like your hair can't grow because you haven't seen anybody else with long hair. Just like do what you need to do, and eventually your hair will grow. It just takes time and it takes a lot of patience. A lot of patience.
Yeah, that's true. Because a lot of people forget is that it takes years, but if they only see like the end result and they think, you just snap your fingers and you're already
Exactly.
at whatever length you are at. So they forget that they actually really do need to be patient. So that's like a really big thing.
Exactly. It's taken me what almost it's now October, in no, almost November. It's taken me about almost 2 years to get my hair at this length. Like 2 years being natural. I'm about just 2.5 years post relaxer. So it's taken me so long, like 2.5 years to grow my hair. And also, like I don't know if our hair texture does it grow at a slower rate compared to other people. Because when people start their natural hair journey, they're starting from scratch, like as if they were bald. Even if they had hair, like they're transitioning, they're still growing out that relaxed hair. So it's basically you're growing a whole new head of hair. So if somebody else from another race is like at shoulder, if they're growing out their hair and they're at shoulder length, and maybe in a year or two they're at waist length, it's because they weren't starting from scratch. They actually had hair that they were growing out. So when a lot of black women start a hair journey, they're starting as from a new like set of hair, a new head of hair. So that's why it takes so long, because it's basically like you're bald when you're starting to grow out your hair, because you're either transitioning out of relaxed hair or you've cut off all your relaxed hair, and to get to waist length it takes, or whatever length, it takes a long time.
Yeah, I agree with you. So yeah, guys, I think we've covered all the points that we had.
But yeah, guys, thanks for watching us. Thanks for watching Bluebell Blossoms and I hope you guys learned something in this call. So bye.